bond company how to go hold on. If you say next room, you will have a list of options. We have to do quick calls, number almost 5 in the morning, but I'm trying to get out of here. And just comes in, I'll say, all right, I want to stand up. It depends on the condition. So if you guys hear the word secured bond, that just means you're able to use a bond company. Okay? That's with a secured bond. But depending on the lease conditions, some people can't bond out. All right.
Thank you. You may be seated. We have an attorney appearing on November 3rd. Have you called on this yet? I'll try to keep an eye, but if you just let him in. Good morning. This is the time set for the 5 a.m. calendar on May 29th, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar. I'll call you each one at a time to the podium, and I'll provide a second name to sit in the chair outside of this room. I'll tell you why you're here, if I'm appointing an attorney, if you have a bond, and what your release conditions are. If we could start with Mr. Zamora to the podium and Mr. Gillian to the chair. Good morning, sir. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Lorenzo Zamora, 07/16/1999.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you have two cases on the calendar here. We have a new Superior Court case. It does include one count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, one count of theft, control of stolen property, a Class 6 felony, and one count of criminal damage, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a couple of hearings in the downtown Superior Courthouse. But first, I want to go to your second case. That's a failure to appear bench warrant that was issued for you for a pending drug charge and criminal trespass case you have. I'm going to affirm the attorney on that case, okay? You're going to have a status conference June 4th at 8:30. That applies to both the failure to appear warrant as well as the new charges. On the case with the new charges, you're going to have two additional hearings. You're going to have an evidentiary hearing June 5th at 1:30 and a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30. On the failure to appear case, you have a secured appearance bond of $2,500. However, on your new charges, because you were out on felony release on that case, you will be held non-bondable on this case. The hearing set for June 5th at 1:30 in the afternoon is the time set to determine if bond will be set on your new charges. So I don't recommend posting the $2,500 yet because you will be held on the new case. All of that information will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions? Okay, if you'll step to your left, the officer will give you that paperwork. Luis Gillian to the podium and Mr. Mesa to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Luis Guillen, January 3rd, 2002.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a new Superior Court case. It does include 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 2 felony, 1 count of theft means of transportation, a Class 3 felony, 1 count of possession or use of a weapon in a drug offense, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of misconduct involving weapons, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 6 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference June 4th at 8:30, an evidentiary hearing June 5th at 1:30, and a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30. You currently have another pending case. Because you're out on felony release at the time you were picked up for this offense, you will be held non-bondable this morning. Your hearing set on June 5th at 1:30 is the time set to determine if bond will be set on your new charges. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions? Thank you, sir. If you'll step to your left, I'll give you that paperwork. Mr. Sanchez Mesa to the podium and Mr. Slater to the chair. Good morning, sir. Can I get your name and date of birth?
David Mesa, 07-18-96.
Thank you. And do you have a second last name?
It's just Sanchez Mesa.
Okay. So it does have a Z at the end, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. It's missing the Z on my paperwork. I'm just going to update that. And then do you mind telling me your date of birth one more time?
07-18-1996.
Thank you so much. Okay. It does look like you're here on a grand jury warrant that was issued for you. It does have an offense date of January 4th, 2025. Actually, let me double check this. Okay, so there are, excuse me, it looks like it's January 24th, 2024.
Yeah, this is for an accident that happened last year.
Okay. It does look like it includes 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a Class 3 felony, and 6 counts of endangerment, a Class 6 felony. I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You're going to have an arraignment hearing on June 5th at 8:30. I am affirming the secured appearance bond of $50,000. You have written conditions of release to include no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. You may not possess any drugs without a valid prescription, and you may not drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. All of that will be in your paperwork. You do need to ensure you attend that hearing on June 5th. If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue, and you'll forfeit any bond that you did post. Did you have any questions, sir?
So am I being released then?
You would have to post a secured bond of $50,000 before you're released from custody.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, if you'll step to your left, I'll give you that paperwork. Now, can you change the date on the offense date? It should be 2024, not 2025. All of them are wrong. Yeah. Thank you. If I can have Mr. Slater to the podium and Mr. Hyde to the chair.
Hello, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Corey Ray Slater, 9/20/79.
Thank you, sir. And I believe you have counsel on the line. Can I get your appearance for the record?
Yes, Your Honor. Paul Ramos for Mr. Slater for this proceeding and all future proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. Ramos. And I have the state on the line?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. I'm Ashley Stetson on behalf of the state.
Good morning. We are here today on a grand jury warrant that was issued. It has an offense date of June 16th, 2024. It does include 1 count of dangerous drug possession for sale, a Class 2 felony, 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. As Mr. Ramos just stated, he is entering his appearance in this case, so I will note that on the record. I am going to set an arraignment hearing on June 5th at 8:30. That'll be in the downtown Superior Courthouse on Madison Street. Next, we are going to discuss your release conditions. Ms. Stetson, would you put the state's recommendation on the record?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the state is asking that Your Honor affirm the $25,000 cash bond that the grand jury judicial officer set back when the grand jury heard the case. Your Honor, the state believes that that is an appropriate bond. The state does not have any specific information on this case as it is a grand jury case. However, the judicial officer that heard the case did hear the facts and set the what they thought was an appropriate bond. So the state is asking that the $25,000 cash be affirmed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stetson. And Mr. Ramos, did you want to state your request on the record?
Yes, Judge. We're asking the court to order that Mr. Slater be released from services. Alternatively, order a much reduced secured bond in this matter. Some background, Judge. Mr. Slater has another matter pending. I've been on that case for quite a while now. Mr. Slater's had no issues or problems attending court. He's always been very cautious about the proceeding. We were aware of another matter that was pending. It could have easily been, counsel here, I'm going to serve you with this matter, issue a summons and have him appear on this new matter. That didn't happen, obviously. We learned of the warrant through an officer who advised that there was a warrant pending. We've been attempting to schedule a self-surrender at the arraignment court, as I've done many times on other cases before, and that was delayed. I actually had a call in, another message into the court yesterday, awaiting a call back to schedule that. We've been active with regard to that, trying to get him in, get this done in front of the arraignment court, rather than have him arrested and go through this process as he is now. He has a significant other who he cares for. She sent me a message this morning, and I've known of her for a while now. She has cancer. She was given, I think, 12 to 18 months to live with treatment. She's 7 months in now. Mr. Slater has been caring for her, helping her with appointments, making sure that she is doing everything she can to work through the time that she has left to live at this point. It's more of a personal, no judge, but he is active with regard to that. Again, no failures to appear with regard to the matter that we've been pending. Been very active in court. There's been no issues or problems. We're asking the court to, again, release him to pretrial services or alternatively a significantly reduced secured bond.
Thank you, Mr. Ramos.
Judge?
Did you say something?
I was going to say, they could easily just issued me a summons for the case that was old. It's a year-old case. So, I mean, I was expecting a summons for a court date, and to be fair, I didn't even know I had a warrant. I mean, the only reason I found out is because my roommate had actually got pulled over in my truck, and the officer told her to tell me that. I mean, otherwise I would have never known.
And Corey,
it does look like this warrant issued April. I'm sorry, Mr. Ramos, were you speaking?
I just said that, Corey. I just addressed all that with the court.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Mr. Ramos. Okay, so Mr. Slater, as both Ms. Stetson and Mr. Ramos know, anytime something is issued through a grand jury warrant, everything is sealed. I do not have the facts of the case. I have limited information as it relates to the offense date, what the offense was, as well as what the court ordered for the bond, as well as in your case, they did provide a little bit of an explanation as to why they felt this bond was appropriate. Because I lack any additional information and the judge who did hear this information thought a cash bond of $25,000 was appropriate, I am going to affirm that bond. However, you do have counsel and they can file a motion to modify those release conditions once everybody has all of the information and things have been unsealed. Your next hearing will be June 5th at 8:30. If you do post bond, you have written conditions of release to include not possessing any drugs without a valid prescription, and you may not drive a vehicle without a valid driver's license. You also need to ensure you attend that hearing. If you do fail to appear, a warrant will issue and you'll forfeit any bond that you posted on this case. Did you have any questions?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. If you'll step to your left, the officer will give you that paperwork. And thank you, Ms. Stetson and Mr. Ramos, for appearing here this morning. Feel free to disconnect at your convenience. Mr. Hyde to the podium and Mr. Gillespie to the chair. Good morning, sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Good morning, Your Honor. First name Zachary, last name Hyde, date of birth 9/1/95.
Can you repeat your date of birth?
September 1st, 1995.
All right, let me take a look at that really quick. Your date of birth on the system it's coming up as September 5th, 95. That's why I asked you to repeat that. Okay, so we are here on a new Superior Court case. It does include 1 count of unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, a Class 5 felony. Oh, excuse me. Do we have Ms. Stetson on the line?
Yes, Your Honor. For the record, Ashley Stetson on behalf of the state.
Thank you, ma'am. As I was stating, we're here for the 1 count of unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference June 4th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30. Those are both in the downtown Superior Courthouse on Madison Street. Next, we're going to discuss your release conditions. I believe Ms. Stetson would like to put the state's request on the record.
Yes, Your Honor. The state is requesting a secured bond of $20,000 in this matter. Your Honor, the suspect is alleged to have fled from law enforcement. Well, let the state back up. Law enforcement observed the suspect driving at high rate of speed. Law enforcement was able to catch up with the suspect. The law enforcement allegedly did make eye contact with the suspect and did attempt to and got behind the suspect's vehicle. A traffic stop was attempted with lights and sirens, Your Honor. The suspect then allegedly fled from law enforcement, made several turns to get away from law enforcement. By the time law enforcement did arrive at the suspect's home, the law enforcement did observe the suspect's vehicle parked in the front of the suspect's home. The suspect was not in the home at that time, Your Honor. Law enforcement did make several attempts for the suspect to exit the home. Law enforcement stated in the Form 4 that they were there for approximately 30 minutes calling for the suspect to exit. The suspect did not. Your Honor, that was on May 14th. Since then, law enforcement did attempt to contact the suspect to have him turn himself in. The suspect would not turn himself in. Law enforcement learned that the suspect was out of state. In addition to that, Your Honor, the suspect has a prior DUI that was amended to a reckless driving. That date of violation was in July of last year. The suspect pled to that amendment in March of this year, Your Honor. Due to the fact that it is a misdemeanor, the state does not have access to those records and cannot confidently say whether or not the suspect is on probation, Your Honor. The state did look at the plea agreement that was signed by the suspect. It did say that probation could occur, but it did not say whether or not that happened. So the state is not entirely sure if the suspect is on probation right now. However, this is the second driving violation within a year, and obviously very concerning for the state that the suspect's behavior is increasing in severity, Your Honor. That was a misdemeanor that the suspect was originally charged with. Now we're looking at felony charges. So state is asking for bond to be set in the amount of $20,000 secured based on the fact that this is becoming a continuous concern for the state, given that he is alleged to have committed a second driving violation, and the fact that he did make attempts to flee from law enforcement, as well as his delay in turning himself in, despite the fact that law enforcement contacted him to turn himself in, and that the suspect's attorney did contact law enforcement at one point to turn himself in. However, the suspect was not in the state. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Stetson. And Mr. Hyde, I believe you started to raise your hand.
Yeah.
Before you speak, I'm going to caution you that you do not have your attorney here this morning. You are being recorded. The state is on the line, and anything you say can be used in your next hearings and trial.
Yes, ma'am.
With that being said, I also would caution you not to speak to the facts of the case.
Yes,
right
ma'am.
now, we are determining what your release conditions
Absolutely.
are. With that being said, did you want to say anything?
Yes, ma'am. So I do have an attorney, Richard Gaxiola. I was contacted the next day by law enforcement, whom I did return the call. My lawyer then called them as well to determine the next steps. I do work as a flight attendant for a major airline. That's why I was out of state. We contacted law enforcement as soon as I returned Sunday morning. We attempted again on Monday. It was a holiday. And then we contacted Tuesday again to set up my self-surrender for yesterday, which I immediately responded to, and myself and my lawyer both went to the mountain. It's on, I don't know the exact precinct, but we went to Detective Wright, and I self-surrendered. There was no delay. The only delay was I was working as a flight attendant to provide for my newborn daughter. So we were in contact the entire way. They knew exactly where I was. I even told law enforcement I was out of the state when I spoke to them the next day. So there was no delay in turning myself in. There was constant communication on both ends.
Thank you, sir. At this time, the attorney you mentioned has not entered an appearance, so I have appointed counsel to represent you.
Yes, ma'am.
If, in fact, they do enter an appearance, that will just make my order void,
Okay.
and you can move forward with the attorney of your choice.
Yes, ma'am.
When setting a bond, there are 15 factors in the statute that I have to consider, and it does include the nature and circumstances of the offense charged, whether or not you pose a danger to the community, to yourself, as well as whether or not you're a flight risk.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
based on the circumstances in this case, I do have some concerns about whether or not you're a flight risk. The charge in and of itself relates to fleeing from the police department.
Yes, ma'am.
Furthermore, the incident also involves some dangerous things involving your vehicle, and that is within a year of another charge that you received as it relates to a vehicle.
Yes, ma'am.
So with that, I am setting a secured appearance bond of $15,000. If you post that bond, you will have written conditions of release. It will include not possessing any drugs without a valid prescription and not driving a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. All of that will be in your paperwork. You do need to ensure you attend those hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest, and you'll forfeit any bonds that you have posted. Did you have any questions?
I do. If I post bond, am I able to travel for work?
Because you have a pending felony, you are not to leave the state of Arizona.
Okay.
Okay. Anything further?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. If you'll step to your left, the officer will give you that paperwork. And thank you again, Ms. Stetson, for appearing. And if that's the last case you're appearing on, again, feel free to disconnect at your convenience.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Gillespie to the podium and Mr. Irving to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Robert Gillespie, January 27th, 84.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you have two cases on the calendar. The first one is a new Superior Court case, and it does include one count of trafficking stolen property, a Class 2 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference June 4th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $7,500 in this case. You're also on probation, so it is a Term 1 violation of your probation when you're picked up for this offense. I'll appoint counsel and set a probation revocation hearing June 4th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $500 in that case. That's a total bond of $8,000. If bond is posted, you have written conditions of release to include not returning to the scene of the crime, no contact with the alleged victim, you may not possess any weapons or alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. You also need to ensure you attend those hearings, otherwise a warrant for your failure to appear will issue and you'll forfeit any bond that you posted. Did you have any questions, sir?
No.
Okay, just step to your left, the officer will give you that paperwork. Mr. Irving to the podium and Corey McGessie to the chair. Good morning, could I get your name and date of birth?
Tony Irving, 11/6/1958.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated terms 1, 4, 5, 7, and 15 of your probation. I'm going to appoint an attorney and set a probation revocation hearing June 4th at 8:30. I am affirming the secured appearance bond in this case of $5,000. If you post bond, you'll have written conditions of release. It does include not possessing any weapons or alcohol and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of release. All of that will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. If you'll step to your left, I'll give you that paperwork. Corey McGeefy to the podium and Isaac Acosta to the chair. Good morning, sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Corey McGaffey, June 10th, 2002.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a new Superior Court case. It does include 1 count of unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, a Class 5 felony, and 1 count of theft, control of property, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference June 4th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30. One second. Let me just preview this order. Okay, that's going to be in the downtown Superior Courthouse on Madison Street. You have a secured appearance bond of $5,000. If you post bond, you have written conditions of release. You are not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription, and you are not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You also need to ensure you attend those hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue and you'll forfeit any bond you post. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, just up to your left, sir. They'll give you that paperwork. Mr. Acosta to the podium. And I apologize, I'm not sure how to say this name, but the last name is Muhire. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
My name is Isaac Acosta. My birthday is November 27, 2006.
Thank you. It does look like you are here on a grand jury warrant that was issued for you. It has an offense date of November 4th, 2024. It does include 1 count of theft means of transportation, a Class 3 felony, and 1 count of aggravated assault on an officer, a Class 5 felony. I will appoint an attorney to represent you and set an arraignment hearing June 5th at 8:30. In this case, you have a cash bond of $5,000. If you post bond, you have written conditions of release. It does include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. All of this information will be in your paperwork. You need to ensure you attend that hearing, otherwise a warrant will issue for your failure to appear and you'll forfeit any bond you post. Did you have any questions, sir?
What's it called? So I'm gonna be in here until the 6th, or?
Unless you post the bond of $5,000, you'll remain in custody.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Can I have Thyri to the podium? And Ruben Oderno to the chair. Good morning, sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Terry Muhire, July 20, 2005.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you have 3 cases on the calendar. The first one is a new Superior Court case. It does include 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 6 felony, 1 count of resisting arrest, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of obstructing a highway or a public thoroughfare, a Class 2 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference June 4th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in this case of $2,500. You are also on probation in 2 cases. So when you were picked up for this offense, it is a Term 1 violation in each of those cases. I'll appoint an attorney, and you'll have a probation revocation hearing June 4th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $250 in each of those cases. So between your 3 cases, it's a secured appearance bond of $3,000. If bond is posted, you have written conditions of release to include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. You also need to ensure you attend these hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue for you and you'll forfeit any bond you have posted. Did you have any questions, sir?
Oh, no.
Okay, just up to your left, I'll give you that paperwork. Mr. Orduno to the podium and Mr. Rodella to the chair. Good morning, sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Ruben Arduino III, October 9, 2004.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you have 2 cases on the calendar here. And the first one is a probation violation warrant that was issued for you with allegations you violated terms 1, 8, and 14. I'll appoint an attorney, and you'll have a probation revocation hearing June 4th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $1,000 in this case. The second case on the calendar is a direct complaint. It's for an offense date of April 12th, 2023, for 1 count of unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, a Class 5 felony. I'll appoint an attorney, and you'll also have the status conference June 4th and a preliminary hearing June 6th. So you have 2 hearing dates between the 2 cases. In this case, you have a cash bond of $1,000. If you post bond on these cases, you'll have written conditions of release. It will include not possessing any weapons or alcohol, and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of release. You need to ensure you attend these hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue, and you'll forfeit any bond you post. Did you have any questions?
Even if I do post bond, I'll still have a DOC hold, right?
Are you currently serving time there?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a release date?
It won't be until 2018 or 2028.
Okay, if that's the case, I don't recommend posting it because if you do have a hold through the Department of Correction, you're scheduled to serve time there. If you post this bond, you still would not be released from custody. So discuss that with your attorney at the next hearing, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Rodella to the podium and Mr. Ibarra Rosales to the chair. Good morning, can I get your name and date of birth?
It's Daniel Philip Rodella, 32291.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on 2 probation violation warrants that were issued with allegations you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I'm going to appoint an attorney and set a probation revocation hearing on June 4th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $750 in one case and $100 in the other for a total of $850. If you post bond, you have written conditions of release. It does include not possessing any weapons or alcohol and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of release. You need to ensure you attend that hearing on June 4th, otherwise a warrant for your failure to appear will issue and you'll forfeit any bond you post. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so step to your left, the officer will give you that paperwork. Mr. Ibarra Rosales to the podium and Mr. Orta to the chair. Good morning, sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Damian Rosales, date of birth 6804.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you have 4 cases on the calendar. The first 2 are failure to appear warrants that were issued for you. And I'm going to affirm the attorney that was previously appointed to represent you. And then you're going to have a probation revocation hearing on June 4th at 8:30 in both of these cases. In each case, you have a bond. In the first case, it's a bond of $250, and it's also a $250 bond in the second case. You have 2 additional cases, though, and those look like those are warrants. And those are coming from the El Mirage Municipal Court. The first one relates to 1 count of drug paraphernalia with an offense date of February 25th, 2025 as a Class 1 misdemeanor. I'm going to appoint counsel in that case. And the other one is for 1 count of dog at large, a Class 2 misdemeanor with an offense date of April 9th, 2025. I'll appoint counsel in that case as well. You'll have an arraignment hearing on June 3rd at 10 a.m. That applies to both of your cases in the El Mirage Municipal Court. You have a secured appearance bond of $150 in one case and $100 in the other case for your 2 municipal court cases. If you post bond, you'll have written conditions of release you need to comply with. It will include not possessing any weapons or alcohol, contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. All of this information will be in your paperwork, including dates, times, and location. You do have a handful of hearings coming up at different locations, so make sure you pay attention to that. If you fail to appear at any of these, a warrant will issue and you'll forfeit any bond that you have posted. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, if you'll take a step to your left, they'll give you your paperwork, sir. Mr. Orta to the podium and Mr. Lara to the chair. Good morning, sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Isaiah Orta, July 24th, 1995.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you're here on 2 probation violation warrants with allegations you violated term 5 of your probation. I'm going to appoint an attorney, and you're going to have a hearing June 4th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $500 in one case and $250 in the other, for a total of $750. If you post bond, you have written conditions of release. It does include to not possess any weapons or alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. You also need to ensure you attend that hearing to avoid any failure to appear warrants and forfeiture of any bonds. Did you have any questions?
Just that I wonder if I would be able to get out because my wife's out there, like, she needs my help.
So you would have to post the bond of $750 before you're released from custody. One moment, sir. Now, should those be probation revocation hearings instead of non-witness violation hearings? On case number 7 and 8. I'm just having her double check the hearing for me really quick. So they're both probation violation warrants, but instead of a probation revocation hearing, a non-witness violation hearing was set. Okay, would the date be the same? Okay. All right, so your hearing date is going to be the same. I do need to reprint the paperwork, though, to indicate it's a probation revocation hearing. So if you'll take a seat out there, the officers will bring you that paperwork here in just a minute, okay? And you can change that, right? Thank you. If I could have Mr. Lara to the podium and Ms. Nichols to the chair.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Mario Lara, 92182.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you have two cases on the calendar. The first one is a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated terms 6, 7, and 22.
Okay.
I'll appoint an attorney and set a probation revocation hearing June 4th at 8:30. In this case, you have a secured appearance bond of $250. You have a second case on the calendar, and that's a direct complaint that was filed. It has an offense date of June 9th, 2022 for one count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and one count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I'm going to appoint counsel, and you'll have a status conference June 4th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30. You also have a secured appearance bond of $250 in this case, so it's a total bond of $500. If that bond is posted, you have written conditions of release to include not possessing any weapons or alcohol and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. You also need to ensure you attend these hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue and you'll forfeit any bond you have posted. Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay, just step to your left, the officer will give you that paperwork. Ms. Nichols to the podium and Mr. Escobar to the chair.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Mona Nichols, 1986.
Do you mind repeating your name?
Mona Nichols.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It does look like you have two cases on the calendar, and they're both probation violation warrants with allegations you violated terms 3, 5, 7, and 15. I will appoint an attorney to represent you, and you'll have a probation revocation hearing June 4th at 8:30. That does apply to both cases. You have a secured appearance bond of $250 in each case for a total of $500. If you post that bond, you have written conditions of release. It will include not possessing any weapons or alcohol. You must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. You also need to ensure you attend that hearing. If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue and you'll forfeit any bonds you posted. Did you have any questions, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. If you step to your left, I'll give you that paperwork. Mr. Escobar to the podium and Ms. Elrod to the chair. Good morning, sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Manuel Escobar, 112559.
Thank you. It does look like you are here on a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated terms 3 and 5. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you, and you'll have a probation revocation hearing June 4th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $250. If bond is posted, you have written conditions of release to include not possessing any weapons or alcohol and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of release. You need to ensure you attend that hearing. Otherwise, a failure to appear warrant will issue and you'll forfeit any bond you post. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. If you'll step to your left, the officer will give you that paperwork.
Okay.
Ms. Elrod to the podium and Mr. Ward to the chair.
Juanita Elrod, 420-2001.
Thank you, ma'am. It does look like you have two cases on the calendar. The first one is let me just double check this. It is a failure to appear warrant that was issued for a pending drug paraphernalia charge. I will affirm the attorney that was previously appointed. It looks like you've already been placed on probation in that case. So you'll have a probation revocation hearing June 4th at 8:30, and you have a secured appearance bond of $150. You also have a direct complaint that was filed. It has an offense date of October 1st, 2024 for one count of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony. I'm going to appoint an attorney in that case as well, and you'll have a status conference June 4th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $100 in this case. So it's a total bond of $250 between your two cases. You'll have written conditions of release to include not possessing any weapons or alcohol. You may not possess any drugs without a valid prescription, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. You also need to ensure you attend these hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue, and you'll forfeit any bond you posted. Did you have any questions, ma'am?
So am I getting released?
If you post a bond of $250.
Okay.
If you step to your left, the officer will give you that paperwork. Mr. Ward to the podium and Mr. Montes to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Sean Ward, 2889.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you have two cases on the calendar. The first one is a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated term 7. I'll appoint an attorney and set a probation revocation hearing June 4th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $250. You're also here on a new Superior Court case. It does include 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. For purposes of this hearing only, I am not finding probable cause as to the new charges. That does not mean these charges are dismissed. They may test the substance and move forward. So I will appoint an attorney to represent you and set a status conference June 12th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing June 16th at 8:30. So because you still have the probation violation warrant, you do have a bond of the $250. If that bond is posted, you have written conditions of release. It does include not possessing any weapons or alcohol or any drugs without a valid prescription, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. You do need to ensure you attend all of these hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue and you'll forfeit any bond. Did you have any questions?
No, that's it.
Okay, just step to your left, the officer will give you that paperwork. Mr. Montes to the podium and Mr. Morales to the chair. Good morning. Could I get your name and date of birth?
11/20/93, Muslim Montes.
Thank you. It does look like you are here on a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 7. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you and set a probation revocation hearing June 4th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $250. If that bond is posted, you have written conditions of release. It will include not possessing any weapons or alcohol and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. You need to ensure you attend that hearing, otherwise a failure to appear warrant will issue and you'll forfeit any bond you post. Did you have any questions, sir?
No.
Thank you. If you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. And then we're just working on getting an interpreter for the last two.
The crime. Victims.
Good morning. Do we have a Spanish interpreter on the line? Good morning. Do we have a Spanish interpreter on the line?
Yes, I'm still on the line.
And can I get your name, sir?
My name is Elver, E-L-V-E-R.
Thank you, sir. And we do have two court cases this morning. Are you available for those two?
Yes, I'm available.
Thank you, sir. We'll go ahead and get started. Mr. Morales to the podium.
Okay, vamos a iniciar. Señor Morales, pase al podio.
Okay.
Good morning, sir. Could I please get your name and date of birth?
¿Cómo?
Buenos días, señor. ¿Puede darme su nombre y fecha de nacimiento?
Fecha de nacimiento.
Sir, do you need the use of an interpreter?
Del 5 de 1998.
Señor, ¿necesita usted utilizar un intérprete?
No.
No.
Sir, what's your primary language?
Señor, ¿cuál es su lenguaje primario?
Mr. Morales, Are you with us?
Señor Morales,
¿Cómo?
¿nos escucha?
Sí.
Mr. Morales,
¿Cuál
can
es
you
tu
tell us your
lenguaje
primary language?
¿Puede comentarnos cuál es su lenguaje primario, señor?
No.
What language do you speak?
No.
Do you speak Spanish, sir?
¿Habla español, señor?
Español sí hablo.
I do speak Spanish, yes.
Okay, can you give me your name and date of birth?
¿Puede decirme su nombre y fecha de nacimiento?
¿Cómo?
What did you say?
Can I get your name and date of birth?
¿Puede decirme su nombre y fecha de nacimiento?
Okay, Mr. Morales, can I have you please take a seat out there for me?
Señor Morales, ¿puede ir a sentarse afuera, por favor?
Sí.
Can I have Mr. Guzman to the podium?
¿Puede subir el señor Guzmán al podio, por favor?
Good morning, sir. Do you need an interpreter?
Buenos días, sí, sí lo ocupo.
Good morning, and yes, I need to interpret.
Thank you, sir. I will ask that you wait until the interpreter interprets before answering the questions.
Gracias, señor. Le voy a pedir el favor de esperar hasta que el intérprete interprete para que responda las preguntas.
Está bien.
Can I get your name and date of birth, sir?
¿Puede brindarme su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, por favor?
Juan Manuel Arrearán Guzmán, 16 de enero de 1984.
Juan Manuel Arrearán Guzmán, January 16, 1984.
Thank you, sir. You are here on a failure to appear bench warrant that was issued.
Ok, señor, ¿está usted acá por no llegar o presentarse a lo que fue su anterior situación que le fue enviada y notificada?
It's for one count of forgery.
This is the interpreter. May you repeat that?
It is for one count of forgery.
Es por un cargo de falsificación.
I will affirm the attorney previously appointed to represent you.
Voy a afirmar que el abogado anterior está acá para representarle a usted.
You will have a status conference June 4th at 8:30.
Usted tendrá una conferencia sobre el estado de esto el día 4 de junio a las 8:30.
And a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30.
Y tendrá una audiencia preliminar el día 6 de junio a las 8:30.
You have a secured appearance bond of $3,000.
También usted tiene una fianza de comparecencia garantizada de $3,000.
If you post that bond, you have written conditions of release.
Si usted presenta esta fianza, tendrá condiciones escritas sobre la liberación.
They do include no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness.
Entre esas condiciones se incluye el no tener contacto con ninguna de las víctimas o personas que realizó las quejas o testigos.
All of this information will be in your paperwork.
Toda esta información también vendrá en su papeleo.
You also need to ensure you attend these hearings to avoid a future failure to appear warrant.
También es necesario asegurarse de presentarse a estas audiencias para así evitar algún tipo de fallo de presentación en las próximas.
If you do fail to appear, you will forfeit any bond that you have posted.
Si usted falla en presentarse, esto lo que haría es perder cualquier tipo de fianza que usted ya haya pagado.
Did you have any questions?
No.
¿Tiene usted alguna consulta?
No.
No.
Thank you, sir. If you'll step to your left, the officer will give you that paperwork.
Gracias, señor. Si camina hacia su izquierda, el oficial le hará el papeleo.
And then just one moment. We're going to try to call Mr. Morales to the podium one more time and see if we can get through that hearing. So if I could have Mr. Morales to the podium, please.
Vamos a intentar llamar al señor Morales una vez más al podio. Por eso mismo, señor Morales, ¿puede pasar al podio otra vez?
Good morning, sir. Could I please get your name and date of birth?
Buenos días, señor. ¿Puede decirme su nombre y fecha de nacimiento?
Can you hear the interpreter?
Señor, ¿puede escuchar al intérprete?
Sir, I see you're shaking your head yes. Can you verbally answer the interpreter, please?
Señor, veo que está moviendo su cabeza para decir sí. ¿Puede responder de forma verbal?
Sir, if you're going to refuse to answer my questions, then you will have to stay in custody longer, and I will move you to the next hearings that don't start till 8 a.m.
Señor, si usted decide no responder a mis preguntas, entonces tendrá que mantenerse en custodia por más tiempo y voy a tener que reagendar su audiencia para las 8 de la mañana.
Would you like to answer the questions or stay in custody longer?
¿Le gustaría responder a las preguntas o mantenerse en custodia por más tiempo?
I believe the silence means you would like to stay in here longer. You can be excused, and we will reset this on the 8 a.m. calendar.
Imagino que su silencio significa que le gustaría mantenerse en custodia por más tiempo, entonces será excusado y su audiencia será restablecida para las 8 de la mañana.
All right, and thank you so much for your assistance this morning, Elver. You are free to disconnect.
Thank you for calling Lion Bridge. Goodbye.
Case number 24, Destiny Russell, date of birth April 14th, 1994, will proceed as a house call due to being a danger to others. We are here on a new Superior Court case for one count of aggravated assault, a Class 3 felony, and one count of criminal damage, a Class 4 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent her. She'll have a status conference June 4th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30. She has a secured appearance bond of $10,000. If bond is posted, she has written conditions of release to include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. If anything changes after I meet with her, I will update the written record. Case number 2, Sherelle Hemingway, date of birth June 29th, 1980, will proceed as a house call due to being unable to function. We are here today on a failure to appear bench warrant for some pending drug charges. I will affirm the attorney previously appointed to represent Ms. Hemingway and set a status conference June 4th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30. I am affirming the secured appearance bond of $1,000. If bond is posted, she has written conditions of release to include not possessing any drugs without a valid prescription, and she may not drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. If anything changes after I meet with her, I will update the written record. Case number 32, Leona Irene Areola, date of birth April 15th, 1985, will proceed as a house call due to bizarre behavior. She is here on a failure to appear bench warrant that was issued related to some pending drug charges. I will affirm the attorney previously appointed and set a status conference June 4th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30. I am affirming the cash-only bond of $1,000. If bond is posted, she has written conditions of release to include not possessing any drugs without a valid prescription and not driving a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. If anything changes after I meet with her, I will update the written record. Case number 37, Christian Young, date of birth April 24th, 2000, will proceed as a house call due to being a danger to self. We are here on a new municipal court case, 1 count of obstruction or refusal to provide a true name, a Class 2 misdemeanor, and 1 count of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, a Class 3 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found. However, due to the nature of the charges, he is not entitled to court-appointed counsel. He will have an arraignment hearing in Peoria Municipal Court on June 17th at 9 a.m. I am releasing him today on his own recognizance, that is his promise to appear. He has written conditions of release to include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. If anything changes after I meet with him, I will update the written record. That concludes our 5 a.m. calendar, and we will now stand in recess until 8 a.m.
It looks like she's on. I just had to change 38 too. There's no attorney on it.
All right, Ms. Fisher, are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, Your Honor, Sylvia Fisher, court interpreter.
All right, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and do our initial advisement. We'll go ahead and begin with our interpreter matter. All right, good morning. I'm Commissioner Procco. This is the 8 a.m. initial appearance calendar for May 29, 2025.
Buenos días, soy la Commissioner Procco. Estas son las vistas iniciales de las 8 de la mañana del 29 de mayo del 2025.
The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar.
Las órdenes judiciales en cuanto a la toma de huellas dactilares y muestras de ADN que se emitieron durante la primera lista de causas este mes se aplicarán a todas las audiencias del día de hoy.
All right, when you hear your name, please step up to the podium that's in the center of the courtroom in here.
Al escuchar su nombre, acérquese al podio que se encuentra en la mitad de la sala.
At the end of your hearing, you will be provided with paperwork that will cover what we go over in here. So that means your next court dates as well as all of your release conditions.
Después de la audiencia recibirán documentación que va a incluir toda la información que voy a revisar con ustedes, incluyendo sus siguientes citas judiciales y sus condiciones de libertad.
Please keep in mind you do have the right to remain silent. Everything you say in the courtroom is being recorded, both audio and video, and could be used in a future court proceeding.
Deben tener en cuenta que tienen el derecho a guardar silencio. Cualquier cosa que digan durante su permanencia en la sala se está grabando por audio y por video y sus declaraciones se pueden usar en su contra en una audiencia en el futuro.
We're going to begin today with Ari Morales.
Vamos a comenzar hoy día con Ari Morales.
Mr. Morales, step into the courtroom.
Señor Morales, ingrese a la sala.
Mr. Morales, do you need the assistance of a court interpreter speaking Spanish?
Señor Morales, ¿usted necesita los servicios de la intérprete que habla español?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Fisher, I'll go and let you do your appearance too. I think I skipped that.
Sylvia Fisher, court interpreter, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Morales, can you state your full name and your date of birth?
Señor Morales, por favor, su nombre completo y su fecha de nacimiento.
Ari Morales.
¿Su fecha de nacimiento?
Del 5 del 15 del 1998.
Ari Morales, 5/15/1998.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a warrant issued for your probation matter. This is for a petition to revoke filed back in January, alleging a violation of terms 3, 5, and 15.
Muchas gracias, señor. Usted se encuentra aquí por una orden de detención que fue emitida porque quebrantó sus condiciones de régimen a prueba. Se ha presentado una petición para revocar su régimen a prueba. La petición fue presentada en el mes de enero por haber quebrantado las condiciones número 3, 5 y 15.
The Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you for this case, and you have 2 court dates that are currently set at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix.
La Oficina de Defensoría Pública fue designada para representarlo en su caso. Tiene 2 audiencias programadas, las cuales se llevarán a cabo en el Tribunal Superior que se encuentra en el centro.
You have a revocation arraignment hearing and disposition hearing set on June 5th at 8:30 a.m.
Tiene usted una vista incoatoria no culpable para revocar su régimen a prueba y también una audiencia resolutoria, las 2 audiencias programadas para el 5 de junio a las 8:30 de la mañana.
This court has affirmed the bond that's in your warrant. That's a $250 secured appearance bond.
Este juzgado va a confirmar la fianza que está incluido en la orden de detención. La fianza asciende a $250. Es una fianza carcelaria con garantía.
That does mean that you would need to post that amount prior to your release in this case.
Eso significa que tendré que depositar ese monto antes de que le pongan en libertad.
If you are released from custody, you do need to contact probation within 72 hours.
Si se le pone en libertad, usted tendría que contactar al Departamento de Régimen a Prueba en un plazo máximo de 72 horas.
Do you have any questions regarding the information that I just went over?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta acerca de la información que acabo de repasar con usted?
No.
All right,
No.
sir. If you want to go ahead and step over to your left, you can go ahead and have a seat. Thank you.
Pase a su lado izquierdo, recoja su documentación y puede tomar asiento nuevamente.
All right, Ms. Fisher, that is the only matter that I had marked as requiring an interpreter. Could you just double check for me, though?
Yes, of course. ¿Hay alguien más que requiere los servicios de la intérprete? En caso que sí, por favor, levante la mano.
All right, I do not see any other hands. Looks like that was everyone. Thanks so much for your assistance today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to go ahead and proceed with Brandon Andrews. After that, it'll be Jeremiah Earl. Sir, please state your full name and your date of birth.
Brandon Andrews, January 14th, 1976.
All right, thank you, sir. You are here for a new case out of the Maricopa County Superior Court. The charges that have been submitted are 1 count of fraudulent schemes, that's a Class 2 felony, and 1 count of theft from a vulnerable adult, that is also a Class 2 felony. So in this matter, because you did not provide any financial information, I'm not going to be addressing the appointment of an attorney. You did indicate to pretrial services that you've obtained your own attorney, which is fine. They just need to file a notice of appearance in your matter. You do have 2 court dates set at this time. That's going to be a status conference on June 4 with a preliminary hearing on June 6, both at 8:30. Those will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In this matter, based on the nature of the offense you're here for, in particular because the victim in this matter is an alleged vulnerable adult, as well as the amount of the theft that has been alleged in this matter, including the amount that was attempted to have been obtained, you do have a bond in this case. That's a $50,000 cash-only appearance bond. If you post this bond and are released from custody, you are going to be ordered to remain within Maricopa County. You are also ordered not to return to the scene of the offense, not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness in this matter, so you cannot have any contact with the individual who is the victim of the alleged theft. Do you have any questions regarding that?
June 4th, June 8th.
It's June 4th and June 6th, but like I
Okay.
said, you're going to get all this information in your paperwork as well.
Wonderful.
You don't need to memorize it.
Thank you.
Okay? All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go and have a seat at this time. We've got Jeremiah Earl and then Jonathan Macias up next. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth.
Jeremiah Earl, December 23rd, 2003.
All right, thank you, sir. You are here for a new case out of the Maricopa County Superior Court. In your matter, the charges are 5 counts of trafficking, a Class 2 felony, 2 counts of robbery, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of theft, that is a Class 1 misdemeanor. In this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. You currently have 2 court dates that will be at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. That's a status conference June 4 and a preliminary hearing June 6, both at 8:30. Those will be, or the address will be included in your paperwork. Now, in this matter, based on the nature of the offense that we have here, and particularly the robbery charge, as well as the fact that there are now multiple victims and multiple dates of offense identified, as well as the consideration of the weight of the evidence that has been brought to the court, you do have a bond in this matter. That's a $35,000 secured appearance bond. If you do post bond and are released from custody, you'd also be subject to the supervision of pretrial services and have electronic monitoring added as part of those release conditions. Your terms will also include that you not return to the scene of any offense, not have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and you're not to possess any weapons while on release. We'll be giving you all that information in your paperwork as well, but do you have any questions regarding anything I just went over?
No.
All right, sir, if you want to go ahead and step over, you can go ahead and have a seat again. Thank you. All right, we have Jonathan Macias. After that, Frank Stiles.
Let's go! Court! Go, Jim. First. Yeah, let's go.
Ma'am Goodworth.
Jonathan Macias, 112390.
You are here for 3 separate cases today. The first one is a grand jury warrant that has been issued. That's for an indictment that's been filed alleging 2 counts of transporting narcotic drugs for sale, a Class 2 felony, and 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, which is a Class 4 felony. The dates of offense for your case is February 21, March 27, and February 26 of 2025. The public defender has been appointed. You have a arraignment hearing set on June 5th at 8:30 a.m. That would take place at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. The bond in your warrant has been affirmed. This is a $25,000 secured appearance bond. You do have 2 additional matters here today, each of which are your probation cases. They are here for Term 1 violations, so in each of those, the public defender has been appointed as well. Revocation arraignment hearing set June 5th at 8:30. And in each of those matters, you have a $500 secured appearance bond, so it's $26,000 total for all 3. If you do postpone our release, you are still on probation. You do still need to abide by all the terms you've been provided, including contacting probation within 72 hours of law enforcement contact. Do you have any questions regarding that? All right, if you want to go ahead and step over, you can go ahead and have a seat again. We've got Frank Stiles and then Bryant Walker up after that. All right, Mr. Stiles, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Frank Stiles, Jr.,
And your date of birth.
12676.
All right, thank you, sir. You are here for a new case out of Superior Court, the charge being 1 count of aggravated assault, which is a Class 3 felony. Now, in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. You do currently have 2 court dates set. That's a status conference June 4, preliminary hearing June 6, both at 8:30. Those will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Based on the nature of the offense here, including the alleged use of a dangerous instrument that did cause fairly significant injury, you do have a bond in this matter, which is a $15,000 secured appearance bond. Your release conditions include the terms that you are not to return to the scene of the offense or have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and you are not to possess any weapons while on release. Do you have any questions regarding any of that information that I've just gone through?
No.
All right, if you want to step over, you can go ahead and have a seat at this time. We've got Bryant Walker, Tony Robinson will be up next. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth.
Brian Walker, 04/03/1996.
All right, so you are here for a probation violation warrant that was issued, and that is going to be for a petition to revoke that's been filed alleging a violation of terms 3 and 15 of your probation term. So the public defender's been appointed. You do have a revocation arraignment hearing set June 5th at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. The bond in your warrant's been affirmed. That's a $1,000 secured appearance bond. Now, since you're on IPS for your level of supervision, if you do postpone in our release, you do need to contact probation within 24 hours rather than the standard 72. Do you have any questions regarding any of that information?
No, Your Honor.
All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go and have a seat. Thank you. All right, we have Tony Robinson, and then after that, Oliverio Puccini. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth.
Tony Lamont Robinson, 11/04/2004.
All right, thank you, sir. So you've got two separate cases here today. I'm going to start with a new matter that just came in. This is going to be for a new case in Superior Court. The charges are 1 count of carrying a deadly weapon under the age of 21. I believe that's actually a misdemeanor offense. That'll be fixed down the road if those charges do get submitted. You also have 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, which is a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of carrying a weapon failure to admit, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. You do currently have a status conference set June 4 with a preliminary hearing June 6, both at 8:30. And that'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I did see you were just sentenced. You were just placed on probation and convicted of a felony within the last 30 days. So in this matter, given that you are now here on a weapons offense, you do have a bond. That's a $3,500 secured appearance bond. If you post bond and are released from custody, you still have the orders that you are not to possess any weapons. That is part of your terms anyway, since you are a convicted felon at this time without your rights restored. You also need to contact probation within 72 hours since you are still on probation. They have been notified, which is why we have the second matter here, which is for a Term 1 violation of your probation. So in that matter, you now have the public defender appointed as well. Revocation arraignment hearing set June 5th at 8:30. Still at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Your bond there is a $500 secured appearance bond. Do you have any questions regarding either of these matters before the court today?
Yeah, so if I wanted to bond out of here, I would have to pay $3,500 or the $850 included?
So you have $4,000 total since you have a $500 bond and a $3,500 bond, okay? So you do have 2 separate bond amounts here that would have to be posted. Or I'm sorry, hold on, let me double check. Yep, I wrote down 2 different amounts here, $3,500 and $500. So $4,000 total is the amount that you would have to post. You are able to work with a bail bonding company in order to post that amount. So if you're interested in finding out what that would require of you, you can contact those companies. You'll have access to the phones in the back, so you can do so.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any other questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, so we have Oliverio, Puccini, and then DeAndre Hills up after that. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
My name is Oliverio Puccini, in August 1980.
All right, thank you. So you've got 2 separate cases here today. I'll start with the one that's an out-of-county warrant. This one was issued out of the Pinal County Superior Court. They were notified, did both confirm the warrant as well as extradition in that case. So at this time, you currently have an arraignment hearing set on June 3rd at 8:30. That'll be at the Pinal County Superior Court. The bond in their warrant's been affirmed. That's a $1,500 secured appearance bond. Now, I gave you that date of June 3rd, which is your anticipated court date. However, because you've got a Maricopa County case as well, it is entirely possible that date could change because they might have you attend that Maricopa County date first. I don't know if that's going to happen. I just want to give you a heads up in case it does, okay? Your second case you have here is your Maricopa County case, which is here for a probation violation warrant that was issued for a violation of Term 3. So the public defender's been appointed there as well. Revocation arraignment hearing set June 5th at 8:30. And in that matter, there's a $250 secured appearance bond. Do you have any questions regarding either of these 2 cases? All right, if you want to step over, we'll get you paperwork that has the information in it as well. We have Mr. Hills, and then after that, Jeremy Salmon. All right, Mr. Hills, come state your full name and date of birth.
DeAndre Hills, August 1st, 84.
All right, thank you, sir. So you've got 2 separate cases here today. These are both probation violation warrants that were issued. In each of your probation cases, there's been a petition to revoke file that alleges a violation of Terms 3, 7, and 15. So the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. You do currently have a revocation arraignment hearing June 5th at 8:30. And in each of these cases, the bond in the warrant's been affirmed. So each of these has a $350 secured appearance bond. It is a total of $700 for both. If you do post bond and are released, you're still on supervised probation, so you do still need to abide by those terms, including contacting probation within 72 hours. Okay. Do you have any questions for me at this time?
No.
All right, so if you want to go ahead and step over, you go ahead and have a seat. Thank you, sir. All right, we have Jeremy Salmon and then Dylan Camilleri. All All right, sir, your full name and date of birth.
Jeremy Selman, 8/30/1980.
All right, thank you, sir. So you're here for a bench warrant that was issued. It's for failure to appear at your probation case. It looks like it might have been a disposition hearing because it looks like that's the next
Yes.
hearing you're going to have now. So your new hearing's going to be now on June 5th at 8:30 a.m. And the bond in the warrant's been affirmed. It's a $750 secured appearance bond. You still have those same release conditions that you do need to contact probation within 72 hours
Right.
if you are released. Okay? Any questions about that?
No,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
All right, so we've got Dylan Camilleri and then Erica Barraza up after that. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
June 12th, 2000, Dylan Camilleri.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a bench warrant that was issued for failure to appear in your Superior Court case here in Maricopa County. Your new court date's going to now be a status conference June 4 at 8:30 a.m. The bond in your warrant's been affirmed. So this one is going to be a $500 secured appearance bond. So that is the amount you'd have to post to be released prior to that next court date on June 4.
Do what? Do what now?
You have a $500 secured appearance bond now, okay? Do you have any other questions regarding it?
Yeah, I got released on my court date, and they released me way late in the day, and so I couldn't make it to my court date.
Well, in that case, you certainly do need to notify the court or have your attorney notify the court since you've already had an attorney appointed for you. That way they can file something with the court. Unfortunately, that hasn't been done in your case.
Okay.
So at this point, you are going to have to address it with your assigned judge. All right? You want to go ahead and step over, though? You can go and pick up that paperwork that's over there. We've got Erica Barraza and then Hanson Tallis will be up next. Hi, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Erica Ivan Barraza, 2/17/94.
All right, so you are here for a bench warrant that was issued for failure to appear at your sentencing. Looks like the prior bond you posted in this matter has already been forfeit. You do have a status conference now set on June 5th at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix, and the bond in your warrant has been affirmed. You have a $500 secured appearance bond. Do you have any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, go ahead and step over. All right, so we've got Hanson Tallis and then Corey Wright up next. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth?
Hanson Tallis, 12/18/1979.
All right, thank you, sir. So you're here for a new case out of Superior Court. This is alleging 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, which is a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, and 1 count of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, which is a Class 3 misdemeanor. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You do have a status conference set on June 4 with a preliminary hearing June 6, both at 8:30, and those are going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. So in this matter, you do have a bond given your very lengthy failure to appear history. I think you had like 29 noted in your criminal history. So you do have a $500 secured appearance bond. Just as a note of change, since I didn't have this in here before, there has been no probable cause found on the possession of narcotic drug count since the allegations submitted to this court were methamphetamine, which is considered a dangerous drug, not a narcotic drug. So I am noting that there is no PC on just that 1 count. There was PC on both of the other 2 counts, okay? Do you have any questions about anything I've gone over?
Oh, no.
All right, I just signed that one again, so we'll have to reprint it. Yeah, we'll have to reprint that one. Do you want to go ahead and have a seat, then we'll go ahead and get that paperwork out to you. I'm going to print it with the correct information, okay?
All right.
All right, so we have Corey Wright, and then after that, Roseanne Williams. Hi, Mr. Wright, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Corey Eugene Wright, 08/01/1988.
Thank you. So you are here for a bench warrant that was issued. It is for a failure to appear in your open felony matter here in Superior Court. So in that case, you now have a status conference set June 4 with a preliminary hearing June 6, both at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In this matter, the bond in your warrant's been affirmed. That is a $500 secured appearance bond. Do you have any questions regarding that?
I missed my court date because my stuff got caught on fire. So my phone is left there at my spot, and I got to get a new cell phone. And I had no idea my court date was coming that so soon.
Yeah, you were given paperwork that had your court date on it. You were also
That got
given
lost.
information regarding pretrial services to assist you with your release as well. You were not in compliance with that either.
I actually did. I called my lawyer, and he told me to call yesterday to get a motion to quash my warrant.
That's not true. That's not what happens.
My lawyer David, yeah, it is true, because he can tell you.
You can certainly speak with the court about that then. This
talked
is
to-
not your first failure to appear. You are on pretrial services and we're not compliant with that either. So
Well,
at this
I
point,
didn't have
you
a
do have
phone.
a bond.
I didn't have a phone. How much is it?
You have a $500 secured appearance.
So I'm going to jail?
If you're unable to post a bond, then you would remain in the custody of the sheriff's office. All right, so we have Ms. Williams. Alec Maynard will be up next. All right, your full name and date of birth.
Roseanne Williams, 2/26/2000.
All right, so you are here for a probation violation warrant that was issued. That's for a petition to revoke filed alleging a violation of terms 3 and 5 of your probation terms. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. You do currently have a revocation arraignment hearing set on June 5th at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In this matter, the bond in your warrant's been affirmed. This is a $250 secured appearance bond. If you do post bond and are released, you're still on supervised probation. You do still need to abide by those terms, and that does include contacting probation within 72 hours. Do you have any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, if you want to go ahead and step over, go ahead and pick up that paperwork that's over there. All right, so we've got Alec Maynard, and then CameraFi will be up next. All right, so your full name and date of birth.
Alec Renee Maynard, October 30th, 1997.
All right, sir, you were here for a bench warrant that was issued, and that's for a failure to appear in your open matter in Superior Court here in Maricopa County. So you now have a status conference set on June 4 at 8:30, and in this matter, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. So the bond in your warrant was affirmed. Do you have any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, sir, if you want to go and step over, you can go and have a seat. All right, so we've got CameraFi, and then Happy Blackburn up after that. All right, full name and date of birth.
CameraFi, 05/23/1998.
All right, thank you, ma'am. So you're here for a warrant that was issued out of the Arrowhead Justice Court. That is in their case number TR 2025-109014. In that matter, you now have an arraignment hearing set on June 17 at 2 p.m., and that is going to be at the Arrowhead Justice Court. This is an initial arrest warrant. It is not a failure to appear warrant, so it is a warrant that was issued in lieu of a summons. It is for 2 counts of DUI. Those are Class 1 misdemeanors with a date of offense of October 26 of 2024. Since it is an initial arrest warrant, not a failure to appear warrant, you are being released today on your own recognizance. That is going to be your promise to appear.
Okay.
So you just need to make sure you appear at that June 17 court date. And if I didn't already mention it, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you as well, and that would likely occur that first meeting at that court date. But you can always call the office ahead of time to see if someone's been appointed.
Thank you.
All right. Do you have any questions regarding that?
That was all, ma'am.
All right. Do you want to go ahead and step over and go and pick up that paperwork? All right, so we've got Happy Blackburn, and then Alex Alvarez will be up next. If we get that court interpreter on the line, I'll call him out of order. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth?
Happy Blackburn, 4/16/1979.
79, is that what you said? Okay, so you are here for a probation matter. This is for a petition to revoke filed alleging a violation of terms 3 and 5 of your probation terms. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You do have a revocation arraignment hearing set June 5th at 8:30. And that's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In your matter, because they just did a nominal bond on your warrant, as well as the fact I don't see any other reinstatements, with those two combined, I am going to be releasing you to appear at that next court date on your own. You are being released, but you are still subject to the supervision of your probation officer. Within 72 hours of your release from this facility, you do need to contact probation. If you don't have a current phone number, there will be one in your paperwork that's going to be provided to you. I'll just warn you, if you fail to appear or otherwise don't comply with probation, they could file a supplemental petition to revoke and further warrants could be issued. Do you have any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, if you want to go ahead and step over, you can go and grab that paperwork there. We have Alex Alvarez, and then Angela Candelaria will be up next. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Alex Alvarez, 10/29/1998.
All right, so you're here for a new case out of the El Mirage Municipal Court. This is for 1 count of disorderly conduct, 1 count of criminal damage, 1 count of threatening, intimidating. These are all Class 1 misdemeanors. An attorney will be appointed to represent you, but that will be addressed by the court that you're going to be going to, which is going to be the El Mirage Municipal Court. So they'll address that at your arraignment hearing, which is currently set on June 17 at 8:30 a.m. At that court, the address will be in there. So given your otherwise fairly limited criminal history. I am going to be following the PSA recommendation here. You are being released on your own recognizance. It is going to be your promise to appear, but you have the terms here that you are not to return to the scene of the offense. You are not to have any contact whatsoever with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. That includes through social media, includes through third parties. Now, I will just also warn you that a violation of a no victim contact order in a criminal release order, that's what you have now, that could constitute aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. Do you have any questions regarding that?
I have a court order with my son. Will I be able to see him on Friday?
So at this point, you are not permitted contact with the alleged victim in this case. You were very close to getting a bond in this matter. It's just because of your lack of history that I did not. So at this point, I'm not going to allow contact. You can certainly speak with the court to see if something else can be arranged for that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If you want to go ahead and step over, though, you can go and pick up that paperwork. All right, so we do have the interpreter on the line for one of our matters, so we're going to go ahead and call one out of order here. That's going to be for Aramesh Atifian. All right, is the interpreter able to hear me okay?
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes, I can hear well. Thank you for asking.
All right, thank you. I do have Ms. Atifian in the courtroom at this point, so if you could go and introduce yourself to her, have her state her full name and date of birth.
My name is...
Do you need a court interpreter?
If you're talking slowly, I understand, but...
Let's go ahead and use the court interpreter then, just to make sure you understand everything. So you just have to respond in the same language, okay?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is...
سلام وقت بخیر. مترجم شما هستم.
سلام.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Atifian, if you could state your full name and your date of birth.
As Aramesh Atifian. Aramesh Atifian, December 22nd, 1978.
All right, and Ms. Atifian, if you do need the interpreter, you do need to respond in Farsi as well, okay?
Oh, okay.
شما خانم عاطفیان اگر که مترجم رو خط آوردین باید به زبان فارسی صحبت کنید.
متوجه شدم هنوز.
I understand.
All right, so you are here for a new case out of the Maricopa County Superior Court. There are 2 counts that have been submitted.
شما امروز اینجا هستین برای این آمدین اینجا در مورد 2 تا پرونده‌ای که برای شما احضارتون کردن.
1 count of fraudulent schemes and 1 count of theft from a vulnerable adult. Those are both Class 2 felonies. Hello, is the interpreter able to hear me? Hello, can the interpreter hear us?
Honor, I understand what you say right now.
Do you want me to proceed in English then? And I can speak slowly.
Speak slowly, please, Honor.
Okay.
Sure.
If at any point you do not understand what I'm saying, let me know and we'll get the interpreter on the line again, okay?
Of course, sir.
All right.
Yes.
The 2 counts that you have here then are the fraudulent schemes, theft from a vulnerable adult, and these are both Class 2 felony offenses. So in this matter, the Legal Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you in this case. You have 2 court dates currently set. These will be at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. That's going to be a status conference June 4 with a preliminary hearing June 6, both at 8:30. You'll get the address for the court in your paperwork. Based on the nature of the offense that you're here for, and specifically the involvement of an alleged vulnerable adult, as well as the amount of the theft that's alleged here, you do have a bond in this matter. That's a cash-only appearance bond in the amount of $50,000. So the same release conditions that your co-defendant had that I know you already heard. You're also going to be ordered not to return to the scene of the alleged offense. So you cannot go back to his home. You cannot have any contact with the victim in this matter. So that would include over the phone or through any social media or through third parties. I did allow contact with your co-defendant so long as the case is not discussed without having both of your attorneys present, okay? So you can still reside with your husband in this matter, but you cannot talk to him about the case separately, okay?
Okay, the man, he's not coming my home at all, right?
The what?
You say somebody come not home. I'm not sure this part. You say who not coming to my home or social media.
That's contact with the victims. You can't go back to the victim's home.
Yeah, he coming
No
to my
contact
home.
with the alleged victim.
Yes, he's
Okay.
coming to my home all the time. And he
You are
calling
not
me.
permitted any contact with the alleged victim.
I'm very happy with do that. He not coming and he not contact with me.
All right. All right. Do you have any other questions regarding the information I just went over?
No.
All right. If you want to go and step over, we'll get you paperwork that has it as well.
Thank you.
All right. So I don't think we did Ms. Candelaria. So let's go Angela Candelaria, and then after that, Joshua Selman. Hi, ma'am. Your full name and date of birth?
Angela Renee Candelaria, 12/5/1987.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a warrant that was issued out of the West Mesa Justice Court. That's in their case number TR 2021-113950. They've set an arraignment hearing for you on June 17 at 8:30 a.m. at the West Mesa Justice Court. In this matter, it is a post-adjudication warrant, a failure to pay warrant. So I'm going to go ahead and release you on this matter since it is also a traffic offense. So you are being released on your own recognizance. That is going to be your promise to appear. Do you have any questions regarding that?
Nothing.
All right, if you want to go and step over and go and have a seat. Thank you, ma'am. All right, so we have Joshua Selman and then Paul Cabrera after that.
Joshua Selman, December 11th, 1990.
You are here for a new case out of Superior Court. This is alleging one count of possession of narcotic drugs, which is a Class 4 felony. I was not able to find probable cause on the single count that was submitted to the court here today. What that means for you here today is it doesn't mean the case is necessarily going away, but they did not provide me with enough information to proceed. But I do still have to appoint an attorney to represent you. I'm also still setting some court dates in your matter.
Okay.
That's going to be a status conference June 12th with a preliminary hearing June 16th, both at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix.
Okay.
Since I was not able to find probable cause, so I can't set release conditions. So you're being released without any conditions being imposed in this matter.
Okay.
Now, I just want to warn you that I have given you some court dates, okay?
Okay.
So if they do end up filing these charges and that court date goes forward and you fail to appear for the court date, then a warrant could issue for your arrest.
Okay.
I did put the phone number for the court if you want to give them a call a few days in advance to check on the status of your matter.
Okay.
Okay? Do you have any questions regarding that?
No.
All right.
So
You wanna
just call
Call the court.
like a couple days prior.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
ma'am. You're on.
All right, so we have Mr. Cabrera.
Paul Cabrera, 2086?
Did you say March 20 of 86?
Yes.
All right, so you are here for two separate cases today.
Yes.
So the first one we'll go over, I'm going to go ahead and touch upon your El Mirage Municipal Court case. This is for new charges out of that court. It is
Yeah.
for one count of obstruction and one count of failing to show a driver's license or ID. Those are Class 2 misdemeanors. So in that matter, an arraignment hearing has been set on June 3rd at 10 a.m.
Okay.
And you do have a $500 bond there. And in that case, because I did set a bond, I did also appoint counsel to represent you for that issue as required by Rule 6.1 of the Arizona Rules of Criminal Procedure.
All right.
Now, your next case here, which is your primary case here, this is going to be for the warrant that was issued out of
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
It is a parole warrant. So in this case, they did confirm the warrant in this matter. They actually sent the entire warrant over so that we were able to see that. So you were given that laminated sheet. Did you have an opportunity to take a look at that?
Yeah, it's not the first time I go through it. I got extradited like a year ago, so.
All right, so it's going to be a lot of the same information here, okay?
Yeah.
Because you do have an option today as to whether or not you want to waive extradition
Yeah,
in
I'm gonna
this
waive
matter. Okay. So I'm just going to, let me go through the choices since you do have these other charges here. So I just want to make sure that you understand what's going to happen then, okay? All right, so if you want to waive extradition, which is what you've indicated you likely want to do here today, we would be notifying California that you are ready to return at this time. You would be held in the Maricopa County Jail non-bailable until California comes to pick you up on the warrant. They would have 30 days starting tomorrow to come pick you up. Now, that 30-day time frame starts tomorrow unless you have any local open cases. If you have any local open cases, the 30-day time frame would start at the conclusion of that case.
So like June 30th. June 30th.
So I'm just giving you that warning since you have this other case, okay? All right, so that could delay the 30-day time frame.
Okay.
All right, that has that potential.
Okay.
All right, so that's if you want to waive extradition. You also have the option not to waive extradition, at least not at this time. You're actually given the same option at your next hearing as well. But if you choose not to waive extradition here today, I would be going ahead and setting that extradition hearing or fugitive from justice hearing on June 9 at 1:30 p.m. at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix.
Okay.
I can't appoint an attorney to represent you there because these matters are considered civil. Let me go through all of it, and I'm going to let you ask whatever you need, okay? Because the matters are considered civil in nature, but you do have the right to retain an attorney. There are also public defenders who are present there that can provide assistance. There's just no guarantee of that. Either way, you are non-bailable. It's a parole warrant. So either way, you are going to be held in custody without bond, as long as they're saying that that warrant is valid within the time frame. Now, the process there, if you choose not to waive extradition, then the governor's warrant has to be signed, which takes 90 days. Okay?
Oh, no.
That's the time frame that they have to sign.
I do want to waive it. It's just because you're setting me up for June 3rd, which will squash that, and then I'll go to court for my warrant when you said June 9th?
Okay, so if you waive extradition, you would have no further court dates on that warrant.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If you choose not to waive extradition, then you would have the
So you don't have to go to
hearing
court
date.
no more on extradition?
If you choose to waive extradition, you would have no further court dates here in Maricopa County. We'd just be notifying California saying you are ready to be picked up.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You want to still waive extradition
Yeah.
even though you've got this local open case? You do have a court date on June 3rd for that.
Yeah, that's fine, because it's still going to take them about 30 days to come get me regardless, you know?
Let me go ahead and go through the advisement then here. Then if you've already done this waiver, you're already familiar with what I'm going to ask you. I just need to have you answer out loud, okay? All right, so first of all, did you review the waiver of extradition paperwork, which was that laminated sheet?
Yes.
You understand that you do not have to sign the waiver here today?
Yes.
That you are permitted to have an extradition hearing here in Maricopa County?
Yes.
And you are permitted to hire an attorney at your own expense to represent you at that hearing?
Yes, sir.
And you can demand that a governor's warrant be signed by the governors of both states before your return to California.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to give up those rights in order to sign the waiver paperwork here today?
Yes.
Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything in order to get you to sign the paperwork? Have you had any alcohol, drugs, or medication within the last 24 hours?
Is that going to affect my plea?
Let me word it this way. If you have had any drugs, alcohol, or medication within the last 24 hours, has that affected your ability to understand today's proceedings?
No, I just drink alcohol, that's it.
Okay. All right, as long as that hasn't affected what we're doing
No.
here today. That's the reason I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, based on those responses then, I do find that you are knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily signing the waiver, and I'm going to be signing it as well. So I am directing the Sheriff's Office to notify California that you are ready to return at this time. They would then have 30 days from tomorrow to pick you up unless there are local charges pending. If there are local charges pending, that 30-day time frame could start at the conclusion of that case. So before I have you come up here and sign, since I need to do my end as well, do you have any other questions regarding this?
No, I don't.
All right. Go ahead and step up then. We'll go ahead and let you know when you can sign that. All right, I'm going to be putting some other stuff on the record. This doesn't have anything to do with you, so just ignore that. All right, so we'll go ahead and put our house calls on record now. So I'm going to go ahead and start with number 15. That's going to be for Philip Cruz, date of birth 7/9/92. Looks like he is a house call today.
Just hold it by the door right there. All right.
Oh, looks like he's the one at LBJ. Is that right? Yeah. Yep. All right, so he's located at LBJ, so we'll be doing his hearing afterwards once we get in contact with LBJ. He's here for two separate matters. The first one's a new case out of Superior Court alleging one count of aggravated assault, a Class 3 felony. The public defender has been appointed Status conference at June 4, preliminary hearing June 6, both at 8:30. In that matter, he's got a $15,000 secured appearance bond with the additional terms not to return to the scene of the offense, not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. Next case that he has is for his probation matter for a term 1 violation, public defender appointed there as well. Revocation arraignment hearing set June 5th at 8:30, and there's a $500 secured appearance bond in that matter. Next one is for Hale Rudick, date of birth 3/23/99. I show he has a house call she has a house call today due to being escape risk. So she's got a new case out of Superior Court alleging 1 count of criminal trespass in the first degree class 6 felony, 1 count of obstruction class 2 misdemeanor. Public Defender's Office has been appointed. Status conference set June 4. Preliminary hearing June 6 at 8:30. Victim impact statement has been reviewed and considered in this case, as well as based on the nature of the offense. She does have a bond. That's a $500 secured appearance bond with orders not to return to the scene of the offense, not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness in this matter. Next, we have Kevin Kotelka, date of birth 12/27 of 1970. Looks like he is a house call today due to being unable to function within the general population. He's here for a new case out of Superior Court alleging 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony, 1 count of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree. That's a class 3 misdemeanor. Public defender has been appointed. Status conference at June 4, preliminary hearing June 6, both at 8:30. In that matter, he's got a $500 secured appearance bond. Next case is for D'Angelo Carter, date of birth 7/26/1983. I show he has a house call due to being NASWA on suicide watch. So he's here for a new case out of Superior Court alleging 1 count of criminal trespass in the 1st degree class 6 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. In this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent him. His court dates at this time are going to be for a status conference set on June 12, preliminary hearing June 16, both at 8:30. In this matter, he is being released to pretrial services supervision with orders not to return to the scene of the offense, not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. Final matter is for David Lindner, date of birth 10/10 of 1974. So he is also on suicide watch. He is also NASWA in isolation. He's here for a new case out of Superior Court alleging 1 count of criminal trespass in the 1st degree class 6 felony, 1 count of criminal trespass in the 1st degree class 1 misdemeanor. Public defender has been appointed. Victim impact statement has been reviewed in this case. There are 2 court dates. Status conference at June 4, preliminary hearing June 6, both at 8:30. In this matter, he's got a $500 secured appearance bond with the additional orders not to return to the scene of the offense, not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness in this matter. All right, I show that is everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recorder. We'll be at recess.